What is going on, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Family Circle. I almost forgot the name of the channel. The Family Circle podcast, man.
Excited.
Hopefully one of many.
Excited. Hopefully one of many.
Hopefully
guaranteed one of many. We're gonna go in the long haul with this one.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope we ain't gonna quit after a couple of weeks.
No kids here to distract us. We're good.
We've done it a few times though.
Yeah, well that required the kids.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what it is. Now the kids are all at school. We got time. This is the perfect time for us to go and let you guys know a bit more about us as a family.
Definitely.
Yes.
And have some family discussions.
Family discussions.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of our families, especially for people that are watching as well, are very similar.
Yes.
So even though obviously we live a different lifestyle because we do YouTube, social media, still what happens within the house is the same.
Yes.
It's the same. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same.
We're relatable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So
Definitely
some
relatable.
of you guys might not know, or you might know, we're actually a YouTube family.
Yes.
And we've been doing YouTube for almost 10 years now. We have multiple
10 years,
yeah,
you know?
multiple
That's
channels.
crazy.
Whether it be us as a family, our children individually having channels. Over what? How much? Over 3 million?
800 million views.
800 million views.
I think one of the channels has got like 600 million or 500 million views.
Yeah.
Then our family channel's got like 300 million views. I think so. It's probably like, it's about 1 billion views, you know, putting together.
About 1 billion.
So we've amassed over 1 billion views
Yeah.
in the last 8 years.
Ooh,
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
And probably adding all the channels together.
About 3 million?
About 3 million followers. It's not bad though,
Not
is
bad.
it? You know
Not
what I
bad
mean?
at all.
It's not bad.
Pretty
at
decent.
all. You know
Pretty
what I mean?
decent. Considering you've done most of it, the lion's share of it, should I say?
I've edited over 1,000 videos, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We recorded on a mobile phone and stuff back in the day. Still, you know what I mean? Made it work with a magic laptop and
The
that.
laptop that used to take 12 hours to render one video, and we thought that was a
joking.
norm.
It's crazy.
How did you think that was normal?
I don't know, you know.
Remember, you used to leave it overnight and wake up in the morning and it hadn't done.
It's insane how we done that,
Now
man.
it takes minutes, sometimes seconds.
Yes, to render a video. So much has changed, isn't it?
But you still never give up. We still kept
I
it.
know.
Good job, we kept going and didn't give up.
But yeah, family of 8.
Family of 8. So there are me and Nathan, mum and dad. And then we have Romello, our oldest, who, well, he's not a kid no more. He's 21. Then we have Lorenzo, who's just turned 16, which you might know as Tekka's kid. He has a massive YouTube channel, big Instagram, plays academy football. Then we have the twins, Sinner and Soraya, who are 13, almost 14.
Almost 14 in June, man.
I feel stressed.
June the 9th.
I feel
That's
stressed.
Scary.
It's crazy. And then we have Tiago, who's just turned 7.
Yes.
And Marcelo, who's almost 6 in August.
Yes.
And he's the baby.
Big family.
Big family. 2 dogs.
Yes.
1 cat. 1 dog now moved to my mum's with our oldest into his little retirement home. And then we have the big dog at home and the cat, which is Soraya's cat.
Is it me, yeah? When you tell people you got a big family, yeah. So say, for example, someone asks you, they're like, oh, how many kids you got?
Yeah.
And you turn around and say, 5 or 6 or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're being judged if you say a big number?
Oh, instantly. You get that. And people look at you and go, First, I think they're thinking, how do you have so many kids? Then they're thinking, how do you afford to have so much kids? You don't look old enough to have so much kids. There's so many things. You can see in their head, their brains go like this.
Blatantly, do you know what I mean? Judging you.
You judge.
But what difference does it make, though?
It doesn't make any difference.
Do you know, it's not like, thing is, yeah, right. When someone asks me and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I got that amount of kids and that. A lot of the times they're like, what? Oh, my gosh. Listen, we've worked hard. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The kids have nice things. Do you know what I mean? The kids go to good schools. Do you know what I mean? The kids get to go on holidays. We do nice things a lot of the time.
Provide for them.
It's not one of the ones that like, we're just having kids and we can't afford to look after our children.
Yeah,
different.
I get what you mean, but then there's also that stigma of people who don't have money, rely on benefits, but then they have loads of kids. And you see so much negative comments.
Yeah, but see, the thing is with that though, is why should money define
It shouldn't.
if you want a big family?
It shouldn't.
Like,
I don't think it should.
As long as you're looking after your children.
Yeah.
And you do you know what I mean? You have enough to feed your kids.
Yeah.
You have the time to look after the kids. Why should the money matter about having
It
kids?
shouldn't matter. As long
You know what I
as
mean?
they are fed, they are looked after, they're loved, then there shouldn't be coming. You don't need to dress your kid head to toe in Nike. You don't need to dress your kid head to toe in fashion designer. They don't need to have phones or
don't need any of
Xboxes.
that, man.
They need love and attention, food, a roof over their head, and good hygiene.
Definitely. That's
If you've
all
got
that matters.
10 kids and they are all looked after, they're all clean, they're all fed, what else could you want? If they're walking around in Sondico shorts or Primark, it makes no difference.
Don't make no difference, man.
As long as they're clothed,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And I feel like that's a very big stigma. People always go, oh, well, you're popping all these kids and you don't even work. I get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because that's what people are going to say. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, you're all right saying that. But if, for example, someone has kid after kid after kid and obviously they don't work, and then obviously the money's coming from the benefits and that, then how dare you have kids?
There's a difference.
Yeah, I know, go
But
on.
I feel like if that's the case and you see them on holiday every 5 seconds, the kids look run down, they look dirty, they're probably not getting the attention they should, the parents are always out spending the money, all that stuff, and it's not going where it should, then I get it. You know what I mean? I would be the kind of person to go, that's not right. But if it's going to your family and you're caring for your family and you're not off to here, there, everywhere every 5 seconds, which I don't know how you would do on benefits if you've got all them kids. Because even for us to go on holiday with our 6 children, it costs a fortune. You have to have 2 hotel rooms. I don't know how you do it.
It costs absolute fortune. So the question I'm going to ask then, but not just to you, but just in general for people that are watching, if you are on benefits and you don't work, you and the girl, the woman and the dad, or whatever, they don't work.
Yes.
Should they have kid after kid after kid, or should they not? Because basically it's taxpayers' money. I'd love to know what people think. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be mixed because it can go one or the other.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like if they're doing what they should be doing with the money they got. Granted, obviously, setting examples for your children. I always feel like if your parents are on benefits, it always kind of leads to the fact, not always, but it's kind of shown that it's okay to be that way. And I feel like a lot of kids then end up following their parents in that sense. And I think that's the only thing I would say is a real negative.
But see the benefits thing as well.
Yeah.
The benefits is not necessarily one of the ones where it's like, oh, by choice, I've chose to go on benefits.
Exactly.
Sometimes people are on benefits because they've come out of work or they've lost a job or they can't find a job.
Yes.
But obviously then you got people that choose to do nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the ones I'm on about. That's the people that I'm saying that you see that them and their friends are going on holiday every 5 minutes, but their kids are left with their grandparents or whatnot. Or they're at, do you know what I mean? They've got all these kids, but yet they'll choose to make sure they are living a good life, and the kids are just okay, or they're not getting anything. That's for me that's not okay. If you're gonna have kids just so you can have money, that's not okay. If you're gonna have all these kids because you love kids and you want to have kids and you're providing for them in the right way and they're being looked after and they're getting the love and attention from the parents, which they should be, then you can't really tell them to go, well, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I know. I think that would be very, very unfair.
I feel like that would be very unfair.
Very, very unfair.
Because their kid could get more attention from their parents than people who have millions of pounds in the bank who hardly see their parents.
Yeah, it's true, It's true, honestly.
Looked after by nannies. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying you think about it, I would rather be there for my kid and have no money. If I put myself in that position, right? Yeah. And someone said to me, you are now jet setting around the world. You see your kids probably like once every month for like a couple of days. Or you are on a low income job, whatever. You get to see your kids every single night. You get to see your kids. You spend time with family. I would pick that.
100%. I'd pick that all day long.
I would pick that because money doesn't build memories.
Listen, when the kids were young, obviously we're all right now.
Yes, we haven't always been.
Do you know what I'm saying? There were times, not even that long ago, where we didn't have a car.
Prior to Tiago, so we're talking like...
It's before that time.
That's what I mean.
Tiago was born on YouTube. When we had the
that's
YouTube
what I mean. I said before Tiago was born. So I'm talking, we're talking 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago. There was a time we were struggling.
Yeah.
I was at university and working in a school as a teaching assistant.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. Well. In a primary school.
Yes.
Teaching maths and English.
Mr. Greer.
That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So there was a time when we didn't have much money.
No.
I remember when I was working in the school, I was earning, I was working half a day, Monday to Friday. Yeah. And do you remember how much I was earning a month?
Was it like £600?
£600. £600 for the whole month,
But you was doing university at the same time,
we was doing university. Well, I was doing university at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, but it was good though. Like, remember the times like we didn't have a car and we had to walk through the park to go and get our shopping.
Yes.
But we used to all go as a family.
Yeah.
And we used to take a little football and that, make it into an adventure. And we used to get to, I think it was Heron Foods and that.
Yes.
In one stop in Birmingham.
And we'd have a budget of amount and we'd go in there and you'd see things you're like, oh my God, let's get that. Or
and it was exciting though.
It was.
It was good.
I feel like, right, you have to make the most of what you have when you have it. We used to go to the park.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot of times where we didn't have money, but our kids still had fun. not
All the
everything
time.
costs money. We used
All
to
the
go to the
time.
park. We would spend 2-3 hours in the park playing
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Playing on the swings.
Yeah.
Just lying down, having just chilling,
Yeah.
relaxing
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
family.
yeah, exactly.
And then they're still core memories for our kids.
Yeah, exactly. It was good.
It was really good.
And I wouldn't replace it. Like if someone was saying to me now, all right, then you could replace it for the same situation you're in now. At that time, I wouldn't want to change it.
No.
I'd keep it the way it is.
No. Christmases were really exciting because Christmas and birthdays were the only
Yeah.
time they really got anything
Yes.
like extra. Like
Yeah.
they always had stuff. Do you know what I mean? There was always clothed and I always had
Yeah,
was
yeah,
always
yeah.
fed. But we just wouldn't go and buy random stuff from the shop, the toy shop.
No, we'd never
Every
do
now
that.
and again would go in and you and Mello would go and get Hot Wheels cars,
we
a
get Mellow Hot
pound.
Wheel car, but it was like a pound.
Pound. And that
Do you
for
know what
him,
I
that
mean?
was he looked forward to going shopping to get that one car.
that
And he
one
was
car.
grateful with
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So, but then when it came to birthdays and Christmas, it was like a real special moment.
Yeah. For
now,
all of us.
though,
Now
and this is not just us, you know, because I speak to other families, not just us. Kids now,
The
have
expectations.
everything. The expectations are high.
High.
They've got everything. Parents haven't got a clue what to get their kids for birthday,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. We don't have a clue what to
No.
get them anymore.
No.
We're literally just buying things for the sake of it.
Yeah.
It's not fun. So birthdays and Christmas come, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. And when we started to actually make money and the money started to come in, I feel like we had that whole, we'd never really had that much money before.
Yeah.
So we just went and brought all the things that we always wanted to
Yeah,
buy.
I know.
So you'd go
Yeah.
we'd go into the trainer shop, and this sounds really crazy, but we got videos of it. We'd go into the Foot
Yeah.
Locker and the kids would buy like 5 pairs of trainers each or
Yeah, I
whatever.
know,
and,
I know.
and like, but that was just like, now thinking about doing that makes me feel
sick, innit?
sick.
I know. We used to record it. It's on YouTube.
That's what I'm
You can
saying.
find
It's
it. We used to
there.
blog it.
We vlogged every part of our life, even when we didn't have money.
Yeah.
To when the transition of almost started to get money to
Yeah.
the transition of us now.
Yeah.
It's a whole timeline of that
yeah,
stuff, and you can
exactly.
see the change.
Yeah.
There is a time when we will buy designer, this designer, that. The kids were head to toe in designer. Tiago's first birthday was insane.
Yeah, it was.
It was insane, and he was one. There was no need, but because all the other kids never had it,
Yeah.
and then you had the
You felt like
opportunity
you need
to
to
do
spoil
it.
him, innit?
You felt like he had everything.
We used to, this is what I mean. Like, yeah, I watched a YouTube video the other day. It was Meet the Greers one.
Mm-hmm.
And for a video, we went and surprised. We went to the toy shop. We took Tiago.
And let
Remember
him-
the video?
anything
And we
he
let
touched,
him
we brought.
Yeah, anything he touched, we bought. And this, people think like, do you know when you make YouTube videos, it's all for the, you know what I mean? You're going to take it back. You
Nope.
get the receipts, you're going to take it. We didn't do that.
It was just leading up to his birthday.
Yes.
So
it
it
was
made
just
sense.
before his birthday.
Yeah.
And I think we spent about £1,000 in a toy shop on things that you didn't even need. Just for a video.
But you learn. And the thing is, there's no saying, oh, you shouldn't have done that, because we did it and we wanted to do it and we could afford to do it. But looking back on it now, I would never do
I'd
that.
never,
But you have to go through them
do anything
situations
like that ever again.
to learn from them. Obviously,
never
like I say, we're new money, as they like to call it. We're new money.
You grow out of it though.
You do.
Definitely.
And I feel like there's a time when you realise yourself, whoa, and you look back and it's cringy.
I know. It's horrible, man.
Yeah.
It really, really
Insane.
is, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
It was insane.
But
And
yeah.
you're living to prove to people that you're doing well.
Yeah.
And that's not what you should
But
do.
do you know what it is? It's like slave mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to obviously like put it into like a
category.
but the way we're brought, obviously I'm from Handsworth Wood. I lived in Handsworth Wood. People ain't gonna know what Handsworth Wood is.
People are going to hear Handsworth and think it's the ghetto.
See,
No.
Handsworth and Handsworth Wood. I'm not gonna start talking about all this stuff. It's really close though, innit? So a lot of the people that went to my school were from Handsworth, innit? Our mentality is to get money and show off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. In these areas in Birmingham, the black areas, the Asian areas, the blacks and Asians usually together in it,
Mm-hmm.
in the certain areas. It's one of them ones where it's like you see people that look like you on TV, rappers and stuff like that, and then you think, oh, I gotta look like them.
That's the lifestyle.
That's
Yeah.
what I should be doing.
Yeah.
So you have that mentality in your head. Then when you start to get money or do anything like that, first thing that comes into your mind is, look, I gotta prove to everybody else
Yeah.
that I'm doing well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's garbage mentality.
Yeah.
Don't need to do that.
Invest.
I'm wearing now, this is how you know I've evolved and grew up, I'm wearing, nothing wrong with the New Balance. This is gifted to us for a campaign. Didn't even go out and buy it. I'm wearing this now.
Yeah.
I'm wearing, underneath, this, is a Mass Plus by Messi promo shirt, which was handed to us to go to an event. This is free as well, and I'm wearing some blue jeans. I don't care what anybody thinks about what I'm wearing anymore.
Nope.
I wear tracksuits for gym tracksuits every single day.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. Yes, I have a nice car. I'm into cars though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't care.
What people see.
I'm not bothered.
It's what we know. What we know, what we have. You don't have to go out and broadcast it now. I feel like we've come. It's easy for us to say this now because we've been through that whole cycle of spending money. So I'm not saying don't go and have fun. If you're like, for us, like I say, we've always had a big family. We need to make sure that everyone's provided for.
Yeah.
Not just me and Nathan.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about it, when people see us going on holidays and stuff, you granted them holidays have cost us quite a bit of money because of the kids we have. We don't go on holiday every 5 seconds. People always like to us, you don't really go anywhere. You don't really go on holiday. That's because it's expensive.
Yeah, I know.
And we can have the same amount of fun here as a family. Not using it as an excuse.
Yeah.
But we can go and spend money on a holiday if we wanted to, we really wanted to. But I think to myself, I'd rather save that money, invest that money, knowing in the future my kids are going to be okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Not that they need to rely on us to be okay.
Nah, it's not. But
it's nice to know that you can then go, here, do you know what I mean? Like, we've done our part.
If we didn't do anything, it would be different.
Yeah.
Like if we didn't go on any type of holiday or do anything.
We do a lot of UK holidays.
We do a lot of stuff. We still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do a lot of stuff as a family anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, like, people always think, oh, like, everyone's going to Dubai every 5 seconds at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you like going and doing all these holidays? Because we choose to do certain things at certain times.
Not only that, I'm not a good flyer anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this. I'm not a good flyer.
I wasn't going to say it, but
You say it.
It's not that you're not a good flyer. There's a reason.
Listen,
There's a reason as to
I'm not
why.
a good flyer. I'm not a good. It is what it is. I'm not a good flyer.
But you are a flyer.
Yeah,
You just
I'm
don't
a
like the
flyer.
certain circumstances that could potentially happen when you're
I'm
flying.
claustrophobic. I don't do lifts and things like that. I don't like being in closed spaces.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm not really a good flyer. We've been offered to go to Dubai for free.
Yeah, we've turned down so
We've
many
been
holidays.
offered to go to Florida, Disneyland, everything paid for free. We've done all this stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But obviously, we haven't even done it. And that's not just based on me. There's loads of other factors like Lorenzo's football and stuff.
Yes.
The kids being at school and things that make it difficult for us to just dig up and go to certain places.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am not a good player anyway.
Yeah.
But today's discussion wasn't even going to be about any of this.
No, it's just
on
like
our
an
first
intro.
ever episode. There's our intro. You know a bit about the
Yay.
family now and what we've done. We
about
actually
our
were going to
values.
speak about homeschooling today.
Homeschooling.
Everyone seems to be interested in homeschooling, and I feel like it's really popular at the moment.
Really popular. We did a loads of research on it because we actually homeschooled our 5 children.
Was it 5?
Yeah, Lorenzo, Sienna, yeah, all of them.
Oh yeah.
We homeschooled 5 children.
Right. Melo's been homeschooled as well.
Melo was homeschooled before everyone else though.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Yeah,
He did online schooling.
he did online schooling,
And that's the reason why we had to do it. This is where it originally started, right? The reason we had to do that for Romello was because social media back then wasn't as
popular,
or schools didn't understand how big it was. And Romello was offered loads of opportunities and his school kept turning them down. It wasn't just about financial gain. It was about obviously him growing as a teenager. I think he was like 13 and he had his own channel. He was offered to do so much crazy stuff. And the school was really negative about it.
Yeah.
So much so the teacher at one stage was like, Thingy, I've got a degree. You haven't, kind of thing. And it was like, it's like,
God, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
you had to go in and speak to the teacher.
I went to the Melo's parents' evening one at the time, and like the teacher's trying to dictate to me. I'm thinking, you can't dictate to me. Obviously, yeah, you've got a degree. I've got a degree.
Yeah.
You can't dictate to me because your life is. I told her as well, because your life has took you to this. That's your life. Not everybody else has to have the same career path as you. Everyone's is different.
Yeah.
You can't then take an opportunity away from a child.
Yeah.
Because it might lead to something else in the future.
Yeah.
Who said he wants to go and get a degree?
Yeah.
As long as he passes his exams, he can decide what he wants to do later on.
Yeah.
But if he passes up all these opportunities now, he might not ever get this opportunity again. So it's like saying, they'll give you an example, because people love to say, oh, yeah, but social media
Education.
is for the parents' gain and all this stuff. Listen, no one don't say anything. What's that Harry Potter kid called?
Daniel Radcliffe.
When he's been pulled out of school and he's getting taught on site at the studio, no one ain't saying, oh, it's not fair on Daniel Radcliffe, are they?
No.
Why?
I love Harry Potter, so I'm glad he didn't get pulled.
But you get what I'm trying to say though?
Yeah.
Why is it different for someone that's in a film, for example, than someone that's doing something for social media and has an opportunity?
Yeah.
Opportunity is opportunity. Tennis players, they travel around everywhere, even at a young age.
Yeah.
Golf players travel around. Footballers, a lot of them are homeschooled now. They're going to the football, into their training ground to be taught.
Pulled, yeah.
Why is it different if someone has a hobby and an opportunity like Romello did?
The thing is, I'm not even being funny. It wasn't like it was every single week.
No,
it was
wasn't.
like once every couple of months.
And
it
we
was
offered to take the work?
Yeah, we asked to take work, and he was going to miss like 2 days of school.
Yeah.
And they were really funny about it. And it come to that point where we turned around and said, you know what, you's like really, it's either you're jealous because the money he would have been making would have probably been half of your year's salary.
Yeah, it would have.
Or you just don't want him to do better. You don't want to, and you think to yourself, the head teacher at that time was a black woman, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
And I'm not saying anything about colour. And you think to yourself, you'd want him to have a do you know what I mean, a good chance in life.
Yeah.
And it seemed like she wanted to pin him down. I was thinking that's just not right.
Because you know what it is? I think sometimes they're just old school, innit?
Yeah.
They just feel like obviously you're the kid and this is the way kids are supposed to do things.
Yeah.
They go to school.
Follow form,
they go
fall
to
in line.
college. They go to university. But we all know in reality, most people that follow that path end up doing normal jobs or have no job.
Yeah.
You can't put everyone in the same boat. Like
Yeah.
everyone wants to go to university.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to do that.
So hence the reason why
you know what I mean?
took him out of school and we paid for him to do online schooling.
Yeah.
And he was a kind of kid that it really worked for him because he wasn't crazily social. Anyway, he played football and he played basketball, so we had his friends outside of football. So for him, it was okay. It worked for him.
He's not really that type of person anyway to be bothered about socialising every 2 seconds.
No, he left primary school. On the last day of primary school.
Yeah.
It was so funny because he walked in and it's the same primary school that Nathan used to go to, the same primary school all the other younger kids apart from Tiago and Marcelo went to. And he walks to pick him up and there was not a dry eye in sight from teachers, kids, parents, everyone was crying. And you had Romello standing there.
Yeah, with a
straight face, not one tear, not one piece of emotion. I was like, oh yeah, bye.
He's an idiot.
It's crazy. But yeah, so we homeschooled him and then we took all of the children out of school. When was it?
It was about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. And we took Sienna, Soraya and Lorenzo out in September.
Yes.
And then we took Tiago and Marcelo out
In January.
In the January, yeah.
Yes, only temporarily though. It wasn't a plan for it to be permanent. It was only a temporary thing.
We wanted to see if we could do it as well.
100%. And the reason, because I've been thinking like, why did you take them out of school? They were all in a private school. I ain't going to say the name of the private school, even though I could say the name of the private school. And the private school that they went to, because everyone thinks all private schools are good schools.
Best education, great teachers.
There's a private school that they went to. It's in Edgbaston, and it was the worst school I've ever been to.
Diabolical.
I couldn't believe it. The education was crazy. The kids were coming home saying teachers sleeping in the class, teachers not turning up to classes and stuff like that. There's just mad like crime going on in the school. Police being called up into the school and stuff. The bullying, certain things with PE teachers. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it wasn't a good school at all. So what happened was during the school holidays, I give the kids like a test, like a test to see where they were at. You know what I mean? And I couldn't believe, how much they didn't know. Bear in mind, it was costing us for Lorenzo, Sienna, Soraya,
Tiago and Marcelo.
All four of them. We were paying like £14,000 a term.
I think it was 18, you know.
Yeah, but we got a bit of a discount, didn't we?
No, it was 18.
Was it?
In total, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Near yeah. That was a discount. Full price.
Yeah, but this is per term.
Would have been almost £30,000 a term.
Per term. So what is that?
Every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, so you pay 3 times in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were paying that, for terrible education. So they literally didn't know. I'm not going to say anything, but their scores they were getting were crazy. Remember?
Yeah.
Tested them, couldn't believe it.
Pulled them
out of school.
Pulled them out.
The
twins went for just year 7. Lorenzo got pulled out in year 9. Lorenzo was going there first.
Yeah.
So it was Lorenzo and Tiago. Lorenzo was doing fine. It was more so the fact that through his football, they were picking him up. It was like a thing that they had with the football. So we used to drop him there. And there wasn't really any problem with him at first.
There wasn't no problem.
There was a problem with the teacher who was really jealous of him. And she made a point about something in the classroom. And it wasn't even Lorenzo who brought it up. It was a parent of another student who went there, who used to go to football with Lorenzo, who mentioned it to me. And she said her son even was like, no, miss, you can't say things like that. It's just not okay.
Man.
Anyway, the primary school, the prep area
was good.
Was really good.
Yeah.
Tiago done so well. Tiago's very academically inclined anyway. So it was just them two at first.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, twins, we might as well send them all to one place. We went to the school. It was a last minute thing as well. Remember, it was a last minute thing.
Yeah, it was.
Because he was going to put them somewhere else, going to put them more locally at a different private school locally.
Yes.
But that didn't work out. So we put them in there, and then Marcella went as well. So it just was convenient for us.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So it's bad to say, obviously, it was convenient. But then when the little things start to pop off, and then you're asking them questions, and they're coming back and they're coming in and they're going, oh my God, this, and you're thinking, what? We went into the school a good few times about our concerns.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't just leave it.
Yeah, we did go.
So we went in and it was like, do you know what? We're just going to try it.
Yeah. So we pulled them out.
Pulled them out.
And the thing is, you know what the mad thing about it is, a lot of people that probably don't know. Yeah. When you send your kids to private school, you don't give them notice, a term's notice.
3 months more or less.
3 months notice, basically. Then they'll charge you for the full term. So obviously, we pulled them out the school, charging us for the full term.
Yeah.
Chasing us for the money. Mm-hmm. And it's an absolute burner knowing, that they haven't even taught our kids all these things that were happening in the school, but yet we still got paid for it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
It really is bad.
It's terrible.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's really bad. So anyways, we decided to do the homeschool of kids, and that was quite tough, if I'm being honest.
We really prepared for it because we had the space.
Tough, yeah.
So we used the games room, we set up PCs, but we got all these online services that was helping us out.
Ed Place was really good.
Nathan was doing the big kids,
Yeah.
and I was doing the little kids. And because Nathan had a bit of a teaching background, he's quite intellectual, so he does know what he's talking about. They actually got a lot of knowledge.
They done good.
We went out some days as well.
They done good. Listen, the only thing, that they missed out on a little bit with the little kids, was a lot of stuff was being done on the computer.
Yes.
So the handwriting skills could have been brushed up a little bit.
Yes.
We did have printed out some handwriting exercises. Probably didn't do it enough.
Yes.
So obviously when they got put back into normal school, they was a bit behind with their handwriting.
Yes.
You should see Tiago's handwriting now as well.
Tiago's handwriting is better than mine.
Unbelievable.
Touching on that though, we've put the little two back into private school. They both go to I could squeeze it. It's just it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a really good
perfect
school,
for
man.
them. The twins had the option to go into a private school. They didn't want to go into a private school. They said they went to a state primary school.
Yeah.
They went to the secondary school for 1 year.
Private school.
They didn't like it.
Yeah.
They didn't like it because they said it wasn't them.
Yeah.
And then they went and trialled at a state secondary school.
Yes.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And they've been there ever since. They had the option to go private and they didn't want to.
Yeah. And do you know what the mad thing about it is as well? Yeah. Considering they spent a year being homeschooled, they've gone into their secondary school and they're perfectly, even just above where
average.
they should be.
Yeah.
So it just shows the homeschool was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You probably made them elevate, pick them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The only thing obviously we didn't really concentrate on at home was geographies and things like that.
Yeah.
In histories, we just made sure it was the science, maths and
and
English. They were the main
They're doing
things.
a language as well. They're doing a language at home.
So it's worked out perfectly fine.
Really perfect.
Lorenzo's got his GCSEs coming up.
Yeah. The girls just picked their options. I went into their options evening with them and literally Sarah knows exactly what to do. Sarah is she's a very quiet character. She takes a lot of information in.
To them who Sarah is though?
So Sarah is one of the twins. So we have the twins that are Sienna and Saraya. Saraya is the very girly girl kind of. She listens a lot. She's not as vocal as Sienna, but when she's ready to chat, she can chat. And then we have Sienna, who is the football tomboy. She's very unique. Mm-hmm. She's her own character. You cannot really put her in a box of any form. She's just everyone gravitates to her.
Yeah.
Has good manners, very respectful. She loves to speak to people older than her. She has a good rapport with adults. Yeah. Which is very for her age. And we went in and Saraya's teacher, she's so good, really well behaved. She does her work perfectly. Sienna's exactly the same. Sienna's very artistic, which she gets from Nathan. She's an amazing drawer. She can play the piano. She's self-taught. So much so, her music teacher, you had to do an exam to get onto the GCSE music because so many people applied for it. They don't have that many spaces for it.
Yeah.
And I went in and spoke. He said, Sienna doesn't need to take the exam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's on.
Yeah,
if she wants to be in, she's on.
I bet they're desperate for pupils. I bet no one don't
No,
want to do music.
He showed me the list.
Oh, really?
The list of people that had to, and he put her name. He said, "I've listened to her play.
Yeah.
I've listened to her. She's composed songs. She'll come in when she's not even meant to be in there and play."
Yeah, that's good.
He said she's very keen to learn.
Yeah.
So their GCSEs that they're taking, options that they're taking fit them really well.
Yeah. So a lot of people always say, "What's a homeschooling like? Would you recommend it?" I always think, it depends on the kid. Mm-hmm. For Lorenzo, because obviously he's the only person in the house.
He's still homeschooled, by the way.
He's still homeschooled. And actually, by the way, he's actually upstairs. doing what he should be doing. He should be revising for his GCSEs. I did go up there before we did this and he was doing it. So he is the only person that's at homeschool at the moment. And it works for Lorenzo.
There's so many factors though that go into it.
But the reason why we think it works for Lorenzo is because, for example, today, obviously it's Wednesday today, he's got tutoring at 5 o'clock. So he's going to go and sit with other kids in the classroom and a teacher's going to teach him 5 till 7 o'clock. So he's still going to be in the classroom a bit. Yesterday was Tuesday. He was at day release. So when you're in academy, you get to a certain age, you'll go to the academy from 8:30 in the morning till 5 o'clock. And during that day, you'll be with teachers, you'll do some football training. So he gets that all day on the Tuesday. Monday is here. Thursday, tomorrow, he'll have day release again. So he'll be at Birmingham City again, 8:30 till 5 o'clock. And then Friday's at home. So he's getting a good mix of socializing, playing football, contact with teachers, tutor. He's getting a good mix.
Yeah.
Now, for someone that doesn't have that mix, if they're a person that likes to socialize and you took the school away from them, I think that could be a problem.
Yes. I think it all depends on the child. If you're homeschooling one child, do you have one child? It might be totally different. If you have multiple children, but you're homeschooling so many of them for certain reasons, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
I feel like with Lorenzo, because he has so much going on outside of the house, it works for him.
Yeah, it does.
He has a few weeks left of school anyway. I feel like for him, it's helped him because the Thursday, it's only him from his age group that actually go in. So the academy have done us, they said, sat down with us and was like, basically, if he's homeschooled, we can facilitate another day for him to come in, do extra work. So he's not just doing a little bit, he's doing extra to keep him on track. And then he's also getting to do more football with the older age groups. So it works. So he gets 2 days of doing that. At home, he works during the day, and then in the evening, obviously, he has his tutor once a week. But the couple of weeks leading up to his exams,
twice a week,
he's going to go 3 times a week.
Oh, 3 times a week?
Yeah, and then because they give him time off, don't they, from football?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So he'll take that time and just really bulk in the final stuff for his exams, which is going to sit at a school not far from us,
a good school,
to do his maths and English.
Yes, that's right.
And then he'll go on this year to do his course during his scholarship. So scholarship he got that back end of last year.
Yes.
So he's going to be going into Birmingham City for 2 years to do his scholar years, and where he'll get a course. Yeah. He'll learn so many different things.
Yeah.
They do like a football training. They do an actual coaching course.
UEFA C.
They do a BTEC or A levels. You can do BTEC or A levels.
Depends on what you get in your GCSEs.
Yeah.
But so he's going to get qualified in that. And he gets to do what he loves to do.
So he should come out with A levels basically at the end of it as well as a coaching degree, and then hopefully he'll get his pro. That's the aim. Yeah. To continue on playing football.
Yeah, that's it. So as I said, for Lorenzo, it's worked.
It's perfect.
But if someone was to ask me and be like, do you know what? Would you put your kids from start? So for example, from year 7 all the way through to year 11 and make them be homeschooled? I would say no, I wouldn't do that.
I would say no.
But obviously, based on our kids though.
I
would say no.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because even now, I reminisce about the funny times in school.
Yeah.
I meet up with all my school friends, even still. We have conversations still with my school friends.
Yeah.
If that was taken away, it's like you're missing out on a big section of life.
Yeah. So I think if you went to a primary school and then you don't go to a secondary school, then I feel like that's probably even worse than if you didn't go to school all the way through. So I think secondary school is more important. Yeah,
if
you never put your kids into school from when they were born, and then that's it. They wouldn't know any different. They wouldn't know what they're missing out on.
Yeah.
But if you've put them into primary school and then homeschooling from year 7, the difference between primary school and secondary school dynamics as growing you as a person is totally different.
I think
you're a young adult.
Yeah.
There's so many different experiences that you have.
Yeah.
I feel like your friends from secondary school are your friends for life.
Yeah, but your primary school friends.
Because you all disappear and go different paths.
Yeah.
But secondary school, I feel like it's one of them ones where if you've never been, but you went, I feel like it's,
Yeah.
Even if you went, like our kids did, they went for a couple of years and then it come to like the later years and you decided it didn't work, or whether it be they didn't like the academic setting or they just couldn't work in that setting, because not every kid school doesn't work for everyone.
No, it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody.
No.
Definitely doesn't at all.
And you know your kid. I feel like as a parent, you have to know your child to know if homeschooling them would benefit them or hinder them. And I feel with us, our kids are very social.
Yeah.
So with the twins, them going back into school was a very beneficial thing for them. They found their friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not just about friends.
They've
It's
come out
about learning.
it's not just about friends. It's about coming out of your shell.
Yes.
Just socialising in general.
Socialising.
Doing things like on a weekend because they go out with their friends and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just becoming a young adult.
And the learning on top of it is obviously what you want them to do and enjoy it. Our kids don't mind sitting down in the classroom and learning. Some kids can't. Some kids struggle. Some kids' attention span is really bad. You have I follow a lot of homeschooling forums because we homeschooled them. And you see a lot of people take their kids out of school for different reasons.
Yeah, there's
the
loads of
school,
reasons.
they're either they just don't like to go to school and they struggle with it.
Or they're getting bullied or something.
Or they're getting bullied, or they can't sit down, or they have ADHD, or they're diagnosed with all these different things, and the parents feel like they can manage it better at home.
Yeah.
It's not easy because that means you can't work. Or if you do work, you work from home.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have them at homeschool and dig off and go to work and leave them work. You can't do that.
People do that though. People homeschool their kids, pull the kids out of school, don't teach them or nothing.
Yeah.
They do that for joke.
Yeah.
Loads of people do
A
that.
lot of people take their kids out of school and go travelling.
They do, Yeah. But you could do that.
Yeah.
Go travelling, go and see the world, and still make sure that everyone's learning.
Yeah.
Of course you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a problem with doing that
There's
at all.
no problem with doing that.
So that's like one of the benefits though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the good thing.
The freedom.
Like what we used to do, remember, on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
we used to take the kids and at the ice skating place, they'd have like a homeschooling
Group.
And there was like other kids there that were also being homeschooled.
Yeah.
And the teacher would teach them how to ice skate.
Yeah.
And they loved going there every week.
We found a lot of things that we would do with the children to make sure it wasn't all just in-house, because our kids are not in-house kids. Like, they don't just want to be locked up in the house all the time. We like to go out. So we found the ice skating, there was skiing, there was all these other things. There's a lot of actual resources for homeschooling that if you look in, you're like, what?
Yeah.
All
There's
these
loads,
places do
there's
things
loads.
during the day. You'd think to yourself, oh, that would be closed. No, it's open, and this is what it is there for.
Yeah.
Then as a parent, you get to socialise with other parents at homeschool, and then they pass you on to this. Oh, and there's this and there's that. And you're like, what? There's all these things. There's swimming. There's so many things. And obviously the price is discounted.
Yeah.
For homeschooling.
For homeschooling. Yeah.
But yeah, it worked. They enjoyed it. We made sure when we homeschooled them that they had fun, learned, and it was a good experience. We didn't want it to be a negative experience. We weren't just like, oh, you're homeschooled now, we can get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and we'll get up and do whatever whenever.
regimented.
It was still a strict,
But
still
it was,
up.
And it was stressed though.
Oh yeah, for us.
It was stressed because having to prepare the work.
Yeah.
There's little things that people don't think about.
And you don't think, sometimes you think to yourself, are they doing enough?
Yeah. All the time. Do you know what I mean? And then you get that guilt, you feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Because like, oh my God, you're here in the house. Really, it should be dinner time, you should be running around.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't, if someone was to ask me, would you do it again? I'd say no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it again,
No.
Would you?
If I had to do what we'd done with them for that short period of time, I'd yes.
No. If someone comes to you and they're like, okay then, Marcelo, for example,
Oh no.
would you just put him and make him homeschool?
No.
Like, that's what I'm going to say. Not by choice would you do it, would you?
No. But because we
I
had
would
them
do it.
all off at once, it was better because they all was around each other.
Yeah, but then they've done each other's head in as
They
well at the same
did.
time.
They did, but you couldn't complain that it was just
Yeah.
one child.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so the
It's
boys,
tough,
the
man.
younger boys are at school, and their school, they're doing really well. Tiago is surpassing his expectations. He went into the school, obviously he'd been homeschooled for 6 months or whatever. And there was like, oh, we got this plan put in place for Tiago to make sure that he's up to date with everybody. I think the plan was like meant to last like 3 months. I think within like the first 4 weeks, he'd passed the plan.
Yeah.
But it was like, we scrapped it straight away. He just really was. He's an eager beaver. He loves to learn. He loves to please. He loves to be the best.
Yeah.
He's like, he has to finish first.
Yeah,
He wants
he's
more
like that.
work. He's that kind of really, he education for him is like his favourite thing.
Yeah.
And Marcelo, on the other hand, he's very much laid back, very chill. He likes to learn, likes to work, doesn't like to disappoint, but he likes to have fun.
Yeah.
So you got different mix of kids there, but they're both doing really well.
Yeah,
like I say.
definitely,
So for us, it's worked out.
It's
But
worked out.
homeschooling is definitely something that I feel like it's very easy to do, as in like it's very easy to say, I'm going to homeschool my kids.
You know, a lot of people don't know how you go about it,
You just email the school.
You email the school, innit? Or I think you let the you let the council
Yeah,
know.
you let the council know.
Yeah.
You email the school and say you want to deregister your child from whatever date. The school will have to email you back saying, obviously, yes, they can't say no. But then you have to let the council know. But there's so many grey areas. You have to let the council know. But the council then can request to come to your house for checks. But you don't actually have to let them in. by law.
What? No one didn't come here though.
No, I know. No one coming to us, but I've seen in the forums, like the education welfare officer wants to come out to make sure you've got the right materials.
Do you know what? For Mello, they did. Do you remember?
Yeah, actually.
They came out.
They did.
But when it was from the school, it wasn't from the council?
No, it was from the school.
Yeah.
But you don't actually have to, because some people are like, my kid suffers with anxiety, and they're worried that the people are going to come into the house and like be like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. What do we do? And there's a lot of people on there going, you don't actually have to let them in. You don't actually have to accept the visit. You can say no. You have freedom of choice to say no. Do you know what I mean? You know you're not doing anything wrong, whatever. As long as your kids, you know they're learning, you do what you want to do. But I feel like if you've got nothing to hide, they have good material. They came actually, and they sent loads of material over.
That's the thing.
That's what it is. They're helpful. They're not trying to be like nosy and look around and think, what you got in here. They're not trying to do that. They're just trying to make sure that they've ticked off their box, that child has not been pulled out of school for no random reason. And there's nothing at home going on.
Though.
You have to be careful these days.
There's so many bad things can happen in that situation.
So many bad things can happen.
I get that 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not hard to homeschool.
It's not hard to go about it.
You could do it tomorrow if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel like my main advice would be for anyone who wants to try it is research it. Go onto forums, go on Facebook and type in homeschooling, whatever. There's like loads of pages that have hundreds of thousands of people who are on there. There's jam-packed with stuff. Yeah, there's loads of information.
There's more people, kids homeschooled than you think as well.
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot.
That's another thing.
There's a lot.
There's so many kids that are homeschooled. I think the
stats that come out lately saying it's gone crazy.
It's really popular.
Crazy.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realise that as well, you know.
And there was someone at the school that the kids used to go to, the private school, the first one, that used to take their kids out the term before the summer holidays. So they'd go in September to January to April, and then is it January to April?
January to April.
And then over that term, they'd homeschool them just for that term and have a massive holiday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then send them back in September.
So they deregister them in January to take them out.
That's only going to work at private schools.
Only work at private schools.
That ain't going to work because you take your kid out of a public school, you ain't getting your space back.
No.
So
that's the thing. Also, be very careful. If it's a school that you fought really hard to get your kid into because they hardly have any places, and then you take them out, they have no right to take them back. They can turn around and go. I think there's a period. I think there's like a 2-week period where they're still down as being a pupil, just in case you change your mind. But I think after that period, then you have to find them a whole new school. So I feel like it's something that if you're really kind of considering, definitely do your research. Find out in your local area how many other people, families, whatever, that are doing it. Make sure you've got a plan. Don't go into it blind. I feel like you need to have a structure of knowing what you would do and have things put in place before you just take the leap.
Well, so far for us, it's been all right. It's worked. We'll soon tell when Lorenzo does his GCSEs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. But obviously, I reckon he'll be fine anyway.
Yes.
Like, and another thing, like, if you're watching as well, like, don't get stressed out about these GCSEs. And obviously, you're going to do as best as you can. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you revise for it. But if you don't get the result you want,
it's not the end of the world.
It's not going to be, do you know what I'm trying to say?
You can go and take your GCSEs again. You can take your GCSEs as many times as you have to until you pass.
Yeah, I know, but it's not advisable.
No, I'm not advising nobody, but I'm just saying.
But I wouldn't get stressed out about it though.
Nah.
Because, do you know, I look online all the time, and I see people getting stressed out about like GCSEs and like if
some kids really put themselves through the
like
mill.
it's going to be the end of the world.
I remember when there was panicking about SATs in primary school, remember?
In year 6.
Some they were getting so stressed out. I was like, what kids were crying? I'm like, it means nothing. It's
don't mean
SATs.
Nothing. It don't. All the SATs
the school
are.
fuel the kids.
Sure
it's a
the
for
SATs
school.
It's to know where each kid is at.
It's not. It's the school.
Yeah, but so they know basically where they can go in it.
The school like to put out. They've got 99% SATs results. It's all for the school. It's never for the child.
Obviously, they do the SATs in year 2, don't they? And then they do it in year 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. The year 2 was to say, okay, then. The teachers are doing the right job because they're getting that kid to that level. Mm-hmm. Then we can assess them again at that level. We'll see if they've improved and they've stayed and the teaching has been consistent. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why.
Do you know what it is? Do you know why I know it's not? Because the amount of times that the school got in trouble for finding the exam for the SATs results and making the children learn them.
Yeah, but
it's so the school can get good SATs results.
It is that.
Because you go to secondary school and they give you a whole other exam.
If your school, if you've got a school and you give them SATs in year 2 and everyone gets, let's say for example, everyone gets Bs.
Yeah.
And then they get to year 6 and everyone's got Ds.
Yeah.
What's that going to say about the school?
That's what I mean. It's not for the child's benefit.
It's not. It's
that's
not for the child's benefit.
That's what I'm saying.
It's to monitor
it's the school's benefit.
Teachers in the school.
Yeah.
To make sure they're.
That's what I'm saying. So it's
the
stats for kids.
Yeah.
They put you under all this stress, and it means nothing because you go into secondary school.
How can in year 2 a kid do a test and worry about anything?
I'm worried about the year 6 kids.
But they do it in year 2 as well.
Yeah, they do.
I think they do it in year 2.
I think they've scrapped
even in
it now.
year 6. How can you worry about failing?
But they were. Remember, they was making them go in and do extra
when
work.
When you think about it, though,
makes no
you're
sense.
11, 10 or 11. Yeah. You're doing a test. How is that going to make a difference with your life?
But they make them stress about it, you know.
It's ridiculous.
Because they were doing extra after school SATs revision and stuff like that. I'm thinking it's all for the school's benefit to say that our SATs results have been this year. It doesn't matter if the kid gets good results or not for them as a kid, because they go into year 7 and they make them sit all these tests again to find what level they're going to go into all these different
100%,
lessons.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to come and sit out here and preach and act like, you know, I don't care what score Lorenzo gets on his GCSE. I care.
Yeah.
If he fails his GCSE, I'm kicking off. Clean. Do you know what I'm saying, isn't it?
He's fully kicking off.
Do you know why I'm kicking off?
It costs a lot though for him to be.
First of all, it costs a lot. Secondly, you've got expectation levels. I've been saying this on Meet the Greers, our family vlogging channel, for years. People are always quick to go in comment sections and moan about a father being a father and setting expectation levels. If I say, you should pass your GCSEs, then you should pass your GCSEs.
I feel like
at a bare minimum. Because sorry, one sec. If Lorenzo fails his GCSEs after all this time and effort that's gone into him doing his GCSEs, what does that then say to Sin and Torah? Does it mean, okay, Lorenzo's failed his GCSEs now, I can chill then? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Nope.
So obviously you've got an example to you set. You're the oldest in the house at the moment.
Yeah.
You make sure you lead by example.
Yeah.
You pass your GCSEs. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You make sure you work hard. You keep yourself tidy.
Yeah.
You do your chores at the right time.
I think we're just standard. I don't think we're strict. I've known some of their parents. If
standard
different households
procedure.
have different methods or different kind of expectations of their children.
Of course.
I feel like if you put into your kids, you expect to get a good level out. If you're not really that bothered, but the kid's smart, whatever.
Yeah.
But they've had a lot put into them.
Yeah.
We've made sure they've learned a lot. We've made sure they've had all the materials and all the tools they need to learn. They've never come to us with any problem saying they're struggling.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I mean?
By bare minimum, you should pass the GCSEs, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then once you pass the GCSEs, it's up to you then, if you want to go to do sixth form or college. Don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. But as long as you know in it, you know what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know what is leading by example.
Yeah.
Don't just chill, do nothing, sitting around the house, lounging around, playing games. That is not acceptable. In this house, that ain't acceptable.
No,
especially when you
not.
get older. Like, you have to make sure you've got to be doing something.
Yeah. You either go to college or you then go find a job.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, we've never forced them into going to college. We never go, oh, you've got to go college. No. It's not up for you. If it's an optional thing that you have to do, like school is not optional. You do school, you have no choice. You do school, you get good grades, whatever. If it's optional afterwards, which colleges or sixth form, then if you decide not to, then you either have something in your brain that you know what you're going to do. Yeah, that's it.
Or try and get in some sort of trade, innit?
Unless, so going back to Tiago, he's very intellectual.
Yeah.
I would try to guide him to carry on and go to college and then go to uni. It's up to him.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you have a kid who's got potential to do really, really well in education, you kind of guide them. You don't force them, you guide them. As a parent, you always make sure they know that there is different options, but you guide them to where you think is going to lead them to have a good career.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. So I'll be saying to Lorenzo now, for example, who's just about to take his GCSEs, you pass your GCSEs. That's not, you know what I mean? There's no other way about it.
Yeah.
Then you do your scholarship in football.
Yeah.
Whatever happens after that, happens after that. But I'd also be advising him to make sure he carries on the social media. I'd also be making sure that he does like some TV work and stuff like that. Things that he's done in the past.
So he's got a backup.
So he's got a backup plan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
But if he passes his GCSEs,
Yeah.
then he's not got to be thinking, oh, do you know what? If I then want to go to college or university,
I've got to do my GCSEs.
I've got to do my GCSEs. It's already done.
Yeah.
That would be
It's
my
a headache
advice.
ticked off the
It's
box.
a headache ticked off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing is also, not every kid is talented at education.
They're not.
Some kids are super talented in other areas.
Yeah.
And that's the areas that you guide your kids into. Lorenzo is a very, very, very good football player.
Yeah.
We haven't pushed him into being football.
Yeah.
We haven't pushed him.
No.
He's wanted to do that.
Yeah.
We've just been there, okay, and we're going to help you to go that way. The homeschooling has helped him in that way. We've give him the option to be at home where he's well rested, his body's looked after, he's still learning, but then he has options to do more towards his football career.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he's got his backup with his social media.
Yeah, if he wants to.
If he wants to.
Or you could go back into education.
Yeah. Same with Sienna. She's very good at football.
Yeah.
We've always made sure that she has the options to do whatever she wants to do. She's good at loads of things. Soraya is more academic, so she'll probably carry on through school. I feel like she doesn't mind learning. She likes learning, so I feel like she'd probably carry on to sixth form and find her way. But also, she doesn't always know. You always don't know what you want to do.
You don't know what you want to do when you're young. Sometimes.
Sometimes you can be I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a police officer. I'm going to be this, and all the way through, you follow that same path all the way.
Yeah.
You can get to somewhere. People go to university, take a qualification, then do another one.
Yeah. I know. I went to university and I studied IT, Cisco systems and networking. That's what I did in university.
Binary.
Listen, binary. There's guys, that literally done the same course as me, that ended up, no disrespect, they're in JD, working in JD and that for years.
Yeah.
After that, what's that telling you?
It's hard. You can get a degree, but people want experience. You can go and get a job and they'll go, all right, you got a degree, but you've got no experience in there.
Yeah, but some people have got really good jobs from it though.
Yes.
Because obviously on LinkedIn I see them.
Both
some
ways. It works both ways.
Jobs, but some people have just got standard jobs.
Yeah.
I am doing flipping something that I'm doing social media, YouTube channel, but I went to university and did a degree in flipping IT systems.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with what I'm doing now.
No.
So you don't know sometimes. You fall into things.
Yeah.
And
the income is...
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. And have the work-life balance and everything, but you don't always know what you want to do. Sometimes it's by fluke.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I wanted to be a midwife.
Yeah,
I wanted to be a midwife. I think that's probably why I had so many children, but I wanted to be a midwife. Path didn't work out for me. We got into social media. I was going on that path, trying to get that way to do my nursing. And then this blew up. And I thought to myself, so do I want to go on a placement? Because my friends then went on to doing nursing and they was doing placements and they was doing like 14-hour shifts and they weren't even earning any money for it because it's just a part of their university. But then I was here at home and we was earning all this money and I was like, what do I want to do? I could still go and do it, but beneficial for me, financial, whatever, future career, whatever, would it make any difference? Am I going to go then be a nurse?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I would have done it just to get the degree and then I wouldn't have done it because obviously we had this.
Yeah.
So I had to think to myself, what's more beneficial for me and my family? And I took the heat and I didn't go. And now we do this and I couldn't even think of doing that now because for one, it wouldn't be financial beneficial for us to do that. I have our lifestyle is good. We work from home. I'm able to make sure I go to all my kids' schools, plays, football games.
Yeah.
We do have a good setup what we have at the moment.
But don't get it twisted though.
It's still it's not 9 to 5.
Yeah. A lot of people think though that this what we do, this social media, YouTube, TikTok thing is easy. Listen, it's not easy at all.
Nope.
And for a lot of people as well, if they was asking me and be like, oh, do you know what? When I get older, I'm going to be a YouTuber or something. Yeah. I would say, okay, then definitely go for it, innit?
100%.
But just make sure as well, like you're doing something else.
Something else.
Yeah. Because it's not guaranteed.
It's not rosy.
This is going to work for so long. Fortunately for us, we've been doing it almost 10 years.
Yes.
It's worked for us for a long period of time, but there's people that blow up, get a viral video, and they're done within 6 months.
Yeah.
What are you going to do then?
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed.
Nothing in life is ever, but social media side of things, you can be the big I am 1 minute, and you can be like someone else comes through and does it. Yeah. I feel like if you have a talent, an actual skill. We start with Lorenzo. He had football. He had a talent, a skill.
Yes.
He went into it, and people were like, "Oh, he's really good at doing this." I feel like if you go into it and you don't really have a talent or a skill, you can still do really well. Yeah. But the chances are, it's likely it's
likely to be a phase.
It's going to expire quicker.
Yeah. There's loads of TikTok and the TikTok as well.
Yeah.
See with TikTok, there's loads of TikTokers, that expire. Yeah. Because it's 5 minutes of fame. Mm-hmm. It's not guaranteed.
It's what you do, but it's what you do with it. Yeah. Some people are very smart. So they know that they're going to expire quite quickly. So they'll make sure they get as much exposure on certain platforms as they can, and they'll do things off it.
Yeah, definitely.
They'll do other things, or they'll really push themselves to try and get into other areas of TV.
Yeah, start a business.
And there's people who think they blow up and they go, I'm going to keep rinsing this out. And the next thing you know, in 6 months' time, nobody cares that you can swallow a hot dog in one bite. Nobody cares.
Oh, that's
somebody else who does it. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know. But like, It's just like them
that Bevo guy.
But I think he's still doing stuff now.
Yeah, I know. But
that's what I mean. You have to make sure that you don't rely on the one stream.
There'll be somebody else that's doing that same thing.
Yeah.
And it might have worked for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it probably just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now. There's millions of things.
Yeah, there's so much things.
There's millions of things. So I wouldn't say just jump into the social media. Do it because it's something you want to do in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be like, okay, do it. And then still be thinking like, okay, just as a backup, if it doesn't work, let's say 2 years or whatever,
Yeah.
by the time you got, then I could still got that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't just throw, me as a person,
Yeah.
I wouldn't throw my eggs into one basket and
Yeah.
be like, I'm going to be a YouTuber tomorrow. I wouldn't do that. This is by fluke for us. This is not something I planned to do.
No.
This is not something, like 10 years ago, I didn't think we were going to be doing
No.
this. This is a crazy, unbelievable fluke.
Yeah.
But a fluke
100%.
that's took hard work though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
That's
saying?
the thing, innit? A lot of people have seen, even like friends and family, whatnot, have seen the journey. And I think people always think, oh, wow, we could do that. And then they try it.
Yeah.
And not one of them have success.
No. It's not
because
something
it's not a 9 to 5. You don't get up in the morning at 9 o'clock and then everything shuts off at 5 o'clock.
No, I don't.
It's a 24/7.
Yeah. You never
7 days
switch
a
off.
week, 365
You
days a
never
year.
switch off.
You don't?
Ever. When we
Ever?
was doing Tech as Kid videos, we was recording like 3 a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And basically, that was so draining.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yeah, Lorenzo's only required to be in it for X amount of time. But the planning and preparation for the videos, yeah. Once I put one video out, I was already thinking about next video.
Next one.
And it was literally mentally mashing me up because I'm thinking, okay, I'm researching what's working. I've got to think about the thumbnail. Okay, then we've got to make sure we're making a video. Then we don't want to make sure everyone's doing too much on this YouTube thing. Then you got to be a dad.
Yeah.
Then the kids got to go to school.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So mentally, it can mash you up.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, I've done that already last week. Can't do the same thing
Yeah,
again.
thinking of content ideas.
you don't switch up
And
and
then
get
the
3 o'clock.
brands come in and then you're doing brand work and there's loads of things that you have to do. People think brand work's super easy. It's not.
No, it's not.
The
It's not
requirements, obviously we've been doing it for a long time. So now we kind of know what we make sure that they expect from us and what we expect from them. We're very clear on that. But at the beginning, they could take advantage big time.
Yeah.
And it's just, we'll get more into that
Yeah,
because I feel like we're
100%.
going into it. But
Yeah,
we will
yeah,
explain
yeah,
how
definitely.
we've actually started
Yeah.
on social media. We'll go really in depth on it and like the good, the bad, all of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've
I think
touched on the
we've touched on-
homeschooling.
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, just definitely let us know what you guys think on the subject. What do you think homeschooling is a positive, a negative?
Yeah.
Like I say, I feel like it just depends on the child. I feel like it is one of them ones,
so.
100%.
Yeah.
And a parent, because it's not easy to do.
It's not easy to do. But guys, I think we're going to leave it there.
Yes.
Make sure you leave a comment if you can in the comment section below.
Yeah.
We'll try and get back to as many comments as we possibly can.
Yeah.
If not all the comments.
Yes.
If we can. Do you know what I mean? If we can,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
And head over to our TikTok where we'll be posting these videos in short form content.
Definitely. Make sure you like as well.
yeah.
Like everything in it.
Like everything. Like, subscribe, do it all.
Yeah. All right, done?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.